What's good, everybody? It's your boy Agent P, aka LP, aka my real name, Leonard Pinckney, here to give you guys the Nuggets talk recap of the Celtics and the Nuggets. Let me tell you about this one, ladies and gentlemen. This was a heavyweight fight. This felt like a playoff game. This was a measuring stick game between two of the best teams in the league from the East and the West. A potential finals preview was incredible. And let me go ahead and get into this recap, y'all. First quarter. 6:48 Marcus, 14-13 Boston. Porzingis came out, lighting it up, had 11 points, 3 of 3 from the three-point line. Nuggets were you knew Boston was going to shoot a lot of threes, and I think the Nuggets just learned, hey, Boston really going to shoot these threes like that, and you had to adjust to how they were going to play. Porzingis was just pulling, and he was knocking them down early, man. But Nuggets were shooting well, too. Jokic was 3 for 3 in the start. 2:37 Marcus tied up at 25. The Celtics weren't doubling Jokic a lot in this one, especially early. Pretty much the whole game, that was the strategy. If there was going to be any doubles, they came late. But the Nuggets, or Jokic, was taking advantage. He was 6 of 8 early with 13 points, and it was a 32-31 Boston lead after one. Jokic was at 15, 4 and 3 on 7 of 9 shooting. Porzingis was at 15, 4 of 5 from the three-point line. So the teams, it was funny. You could really see both teams playing their styles of play. Everybody knows, obviously, Boston likes to shoot a lot of threes. The Nuggets were trying to be balanced. Boston shot 12 threes in that first quarter, went 6 of 12, and Denver went 2 of 7 from 3 in that first quarter. So my note after the first quarter is, who's going to help Jokic when the help starts to come? He played that entire first quarter. Jamal Murray, quick note, had 2 early fouls, got subbed out with the 6-minute mark, didn't come back until the second quarter started. It was 10-28, 38-31 Boston. Boston went zone, and Nuggets started 0 for 2, and there was a stupid Reggie Jackson turnover that prompted a timeout from Coach Malone. Quick 7-0 run from Murray after that, cut the lead to 1, and then Boston came right back to get the lead up to 8 at the 4:49 mark. They settled in after that Nuggets run with a 12-4 run themselves. But Jamal Murray was hot, 14 points after struggling with those 2 fouls in the first quarter. And then the only thing really keeping Nuggets, one of the things keeping the Nuggets down was their turnovers. They had 5 up to that point. 61-55 Boston at the half. Jokic had 19. Murray had 19. 15 of those points were in the second quarter. Him and Jokic were both 8 of 11 in this one. The rest of the Nuggets had 17. But they were still shooting well, 58% from the field. Those 5 turnovers to Boston's 1 were a little bit of the difference, along with the offensive rebounding by the Celtics. Peyton Watson had a really great block and 3-point sequence. He was really competing tonight. And Malone, a really early thing in this one, he cut his rotation down. He saw Christian and Holiday weren't having it, so he said, nah, this is an important game. We need this one. And he cut his rotation to 7, and that's how it mirrored the second half. He only played 7 guys, really, in this entire game. Boston shot 46% from the field in the first half, but they were winning because they were 10 of 26 from the three-point line, 8 offensive rebounds. Porzingis had 19, Tatum had 14. Third quarter is when things started to shift a little bit. 69-68, Denver actually took the lead halfway through the third. 14-8 run to open up the quarter. Defense ratcheted up, and more guys started touching the ball, but it was still Jamal and Jokic being the ones that were finishing the plays. 7 points for Jokic and 5 points for Murray in this run. They called a timeout with 5 seconds left, which always annoys me when they call timeouts literally with that much time on the clock. Just let it go to the end of the third. But at that point, it was 82-79 Denver. They got a bucket at the end, Boston did, so it was 82-81 at the end of 3. Derek White was on fire in the third quarter, was up to 21 points, 13 of those points in that quarter, but Jokic was transcendent, man. 30 points, 9 rebounds, and 9 assists after 3 quarters. Nuggets were at 55% shooting. Boston's shooting sunk down to 44%, only made 3 threes in that quarter. It was a great, I just noted, man, this is a great game. Porter only had 5 points in the first half, but 6 points in this quarter, so a nice little turnaround from him. Jamal Murray continued the hot shooting with 24 points. Peyton Watson was missing a lot of threes. He ended up finishing 1 for 6 from 3 in this one, but he was competing on both ends of the floor, 9 points. A really nice block again in the second half. I really love the way he competed in this game. He was not scared of the moment at all. 8:13 mark in the fourth quarter. Denver's up 91-89. Jamal Murray went on a flurry. He was at 31 points to this point, 13 to 17 from the field, and then the KCP3 got their biggest lead of the night, 4 points, prompted a Boston timeout. 4:50 mark, it's 98-95 Boston. They come back with a 9-4 run of their own. Murray was still kicking, got up to 35 points, but Jokic missed a bunny. Boston came down, a couple tough layups from Tatum and Brown, prompted the Nuggets timeout, and now it was true crunch time, folks. I'm going to go through this bucket by bucket the last 5 minutes of the game. So Denver gets the ball back. Jokic makes a wild fadeaway shot. Or not, it wasn't a wild shot. He got Al Horford in the post. I'm thinking of a different one. Got Al Horford in the post, turned around over his left shoulder, banked in a nice shot to cut the lead to 1. Then Al Horford comes down, misses a 3. Jokic comes right back, drives to the basket. Looks like he gets fouled for an and one. They don't call it. It's a 98 or 99-98. Denver takes the lead. Jokic got in the post, Jokic came down. He ended up missing a 3. Michael Porter offensive rebound and stuck the ball back in on a floater. Denver goes up 3, 101-98. Jaylen Brown comes down, gets fouled, misses both free throws, but an offensive rebound from Kristaps Porzingis comes down. The Nuggets dodge a couple bullets. Derek White and Jaylen Brown missed a couple of threes. And the Nuggets came down up 3. It looked like they were able to maybe get a little bit of breathing room here. But Jokic, after making an incredible pass to Porter wide open in the corner, he bricks a 3. And Tatum came down and drove to the basket for a dunk, 101-100 at that point. Bad possession from Denver. Jokic has to take a desperation shot, misses, or actually gets blocked by Porzingis on a 3. And then the next possession, they get the ball back. He missed another floating jumper. It was with 0.3 seconds left, so it was just something he had to throw up. Derek White, wide open from the wing for a 3, missed. A lot of just really tough shots. Some defense was being played in this game, ladies and gentlemen. Jamal Murray missed a 15-footer. Aaron Gordon got open for a wide open look off of a scramble, missed the 3 completely. Jason Tatum came down and was on a 3-on-1. He kind of fumbled the ball, threw it over his shoulder, and he ended up bricking the layup. Nuggets came down Aaron Gordon immediately got the defensive rebound, and Derek White, smart as hell, fouled Aaron Gordon right away. Aaron made the first free throw, and then the second free throw, Jokic did something really smart. He baited the guys. He does this from time to time. He baited the guys into a lane violation. He looked like he was going to enter the lane early. 2 Celtics, Jaylen Brown and Al Horford, enter the lane early, and the refs missed it. They said they couldn't determine who got into the lane first, so they ended up calling it a jump ball, which is really annoying because, man, that was a really smart play by Jokic that didn't get rewarded. So they called a jump ball. Boston ended up getting the ball back. And we had, after Aaron Gordon made that free throw, Boston got the ball. A really nice defensive possession out of the first timeout. A lot of good rotation. Jokic ended up getting switched on to Drew Holiday, but he moved his feet, used his body well. And then Mazzulla called another timeout with about 5 seconds left. They got the ball to Tatum with KCP on him on the 17-foot area, left side of the basket. Tatum takes a tough fadeaway, bricks it, and the Nuggets go into Boston, the team that was 20-0 at home this season, and hand the Celtics their first L of the year at home, 102-100. Nuggets not only did it offensively, but with some big-time stops down the stretch. What an incredible basketball game. Everyone's favorite topic. What did Jokic do tonight? And man, did he do the damn thing tonight. He was spectacular, transcendent. He put on a masterful performance. 34 points, 12 rebounds, 9 assists. Of course, another soundboard double for the big fella on 14 of 22 shooting. This one's a little bit somber, and who knows if this was motivation or not, because you can't get in somebody's head when we're talking about somebody passing away. But Dejan Milojevic, assistant coach for the Warriors, passed away recently, and he was actually really close to Jokic. He was Jokic's coach when Jokic played in Serbia. And, you never know with these things. You can't say whether it was spectacular. It's a guy playing with a heavy heart, this, that, and the third, man. But Jokic, if it was some kind of motivation, man, you could see it, because this one, Jokic came out ready to play. Like we have our games, right, where we watch the Nuggets and we're like, Jokic, just like, look at this guy guarding you, man. Just put him under the brim. Like, you can't do nothing with you. And Boston said right away, with Porzingis guarding him, we not going to double you. And when they said that, Jokic said, I bet I'm going to go to the rack and I'm going to score on these dudes. So whether it was Al Horford guarding him, whether it was Porzingis guarding him, it did not matter. Jokic was going crazy in the paint, hitting his patented jump shots, his floaters. He was doing everything tonight, man. And in the second half, his playmaking started to get a little bit more because they started to adjust a little bit by doubling a little bit late. And Jokic ended up adjusting to that as well. Obviously, got his assist total up to 9, as opposed to the Philly game where he still played well, right? 25 points, 19 rebounds, but only had 3 assists. So in this one, he was able to come back and say, I'm not only going to score it, but I'm going to force the action so much that you guys are going to have to double. And he was making really good plays in all facets, man. He had some incredible passes that even weren't assists. He had a really nice pass to P. Watt where he missed a 3, a really nice pass to Porter where he missed a 3. So Nikola Jokic, man, and the Nuggets as a whole, because I'm going to talk about Jamal Murray too, this felt like a playoff game. I think the Nuggets could feel that, and they knew that, hey, we came off of a loss to Philly. That was a measuring stick game. This one really is another one of those two. And I'm wearing the championship hat for a reason, because that's what it felt like. It reminded me of those times in the finals and the playoffs where things got tight and the Nuggets said, we are going to out-execute you because we play the right brand of basketball. We're going to get a good shot every single time, and defensively we're going to lock in because we know at the end of games, teams want to play hero ball, and that's what's going to end up happening. We're going to figure out how to play in the clutch and out-execute you, and that's what they ended up doing in this one. And Jokic, the head of the snake, doing what he does, man, just out of this world and once-in-a-lifetime basketball player, man. If you're a Nuggets fan, obviously you appreciate him, but I don't know if we can appreciate him enough, man. This dude is all-time special. And speaking of special, Jamal Murray, man, 35 points, 8 boards, 5 assists, or 5 boards, 8 assists. I don't know, but he had 35, 8, and 5. He was 15 and 21. That boy was locked in tonight. 2 fouls in the first quarter got him out of the game early, and after that, he said, it's my time. It's me and Jokic's time in this one. They combined for 69 points, 69 of the 102 for Denver here. He was doing what Jamal Murray does, right? He had smaller guys on him, shooting it over him in the post. Difficult step backs, coming off of screen and rolls. We talked about in the game last time against Philly, 17 points, 10 assists, but those decisions down the stretch just like didn't make sense. He just was like passing up shots and throwing bad bounce passes, just like, what's going on, Jamal? And this one, every decision was almost right. Pretty much every decision. Him and Jokic were like this. They were syncopated, synchronized to perfection tonight. All their decisions pretty much worked out in this one. And Jamal in particular, man, when he gets in that mode, when he gets locked in, we all know, man, it was like watching playoff ball again. When he has that look, he ain't missing. He's taking his shots, getting to his spots, and he's knocking them down. Absolutely stellar performance from Jamal Murray. You were an absolute beast tonight. But let's talk about the others. The others really didn't do too much, honestly, but there were a couple of like glimmers of nice performances, right? Michael Porter Jr., bad first half, only had 5 points, but in the second half had 8 points, and his offensive rebounds were huge in the second half. Really came up with some nice extra possessions for Denver. I really liked his game in the second half especially. Aaron Gordon, don't get it twisted, did not play well, only had 2 points and was 0 of 6 from the field, but had 10 rebounds. And the thing that was really important with Murray and Jokic really getting it going was Aaron Gordon to play defense and get rebounds. And Celtics were getting a lot of offensive rebounds early, and Boston got a couple of key possessions where they got offensive rebounds as well. But they did well to – Aaron Gordon knew what he was needed tonight was to get some boards. So we got 10 rebounds and played really good defense throughout. So I appreciated that effort. KCP only 5 points, but first team defense, baby. That boy was going to work on the defensive end. And Peyton Watson, man. P. Watt playing over Christian Brown in this one. Only, like I said, the rotation was only at 7. And Malone played this like a playoff rotation. So you kind of got to imagine if the Nuggets go to the not if, but when the Nuggets go to the playoffs and we're cutting that rotation down, is this what it's going to look like, right? Is it going to be this 7? Is it maybe going to be Christian Brown to make it 8? So it's going to be interesting. Starters played heavy minutes in this one, but it was necessary for this game. And Peyton Watson was one of the guys Malone went with. 9 points. Didn't shoot well, 4 of 11, and 1 of 6 from 3. But he didn't back down. And that's the thing about this one. He wanted the challenge. He wanted to guard Jason Tatum. He wanted to guard Derek White. He wanted to guard Jaylen Brown in this one. And he contributed to the poor shooting that both of them had. I'll talk about them when I get to stats talk. But Peyton Watson, I want that dude on the court, man. Like, I know, and not only was he, you could tell he wasn't scared and won the competition. The other thing that showed he wasn't scared was that he was 1 of 6 from 3. Not all the shots were great. Some of them were wide open, and he did need to take them as like a flow of the offense kind of thing. But just to be someone who continues to shoot even when you're not making it, that shows confidence. That shows that the moment's not too big for you. And I was so proud of Peyton for the way that he played tonight, despite poor shooting. I just love the way that he competed, man. And you get him in more spots like this, he's going to gain more experience. He's going to be better. I loved how he played tonight. Man, what a game. Like, sign me up, dog. If that's going to be the finals, sign me up for more of that, because my goodness, what a basketball game that was. Stats talk, Nuggets shot 52%. As they always do, they typically always shoot well. Boston shot 43%. 14 of 44 from 3. They did their thing, and they made some, but not enough. Denver was 8 of 31 from 3. Denver out-rebounded Boston by 9. They made up for the 12 offensive rebounds by Boston by grabbing 10 of their own. The only bugaboo for Denver as well was their 9 turnovers, but I mean, it's a little bit better. 5 turnovers in the first half, 4 turnovers in the second half. It's not that bad, all things considered. If you finish an NBA game with less than 10 turnovers, that is a good night regardless. Boston was really good with the ball. They only had 2 turnovers. So Denver was not really trying to get in passing lanes that much. Not a lot of force du jour here. It was kind of a lot of straight up stuff, and especially in the second half. That's where Denver really locked in defensively. Only gave up 39 points in the second half to the Boston Celtics. It's like when we played Philly on Tuesday. Philly only gave up 17 points in the fourth quarter to us. We only gave up 19 or 18 to Boston. Only 18 to Boston in the fourth quarter of this one. Held Jaylen Brown to 6 of 19 shooting and only 13 points, and held Jason Tatum to 9 of 24 shooting, only 22 points. Derek White was probably the best player for Boston. Honestly, 21 points, 8 of 13, made threes everywhere on the court, always making a smart decision. That dude is a really good basketball player, man. Shout out to Derek White. And Porzingis played well in this one as well. A lot of the Celtics played well in this one too, but just not good enough. We talked about it in the Philly game that Maxey and Embiid both outplayed Jokic in this one. The duos went against each other. The duo of Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic absolutely outplayed Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown tonight in Boston to hand Boston their first home L of the season. It's one of those games with the regular season, and it was funny as I was kind of feeling it and recapping this one with myself, like writing down my notes. It's like, yeah, man, like you can understand why the Nuggets sometimes play the way that they do. And this game was a reminder and showed us why they kind of play the way that they do, right? When you come from playing in June, when all those games mean so much, and then you have to play like Utah on a Wednesday or Charlotte on a Sunday, like the effort, it's not that you don't want to compete, because you always want to compete. But that energy, you can't replicate it because the stakes just aren't high enough. And that's nobody's fault. It's the regular season, and the Nuggets know that. But when it's really time, when it's gut check time, when these games start meaning something, that's when the Nuggets play their best. And as someone who follows the team and is an obvious fan of this team, you can feel it during the regular season. For some games, you're like, oh man, why would you lose that game? How are you gonna? It's like you get it because you get back to moments like this where these games, these are the ones that matter. This is going to the Eastern Conference. Everyone saying they're the best team in the league and saying, hey, we're going into the Garden and we're handing you your first loss of the year. That's what this game meant. It was incredible to watch, and I was so happy to see how the Nuggets performed and how they rose to the occasion, because it would have been very understandable to go to Philly and go to Boston and lose both of those games, because both of those teams are really tough, especially at home. Obviously, Boston, who hadn't lost at home before this game, they had won 27 straight at home overall. And to go into Boston like this, against a team like this, and perform the way that they did offensively and defensively, man. 61 points for Boston in the first half, only 39 in the second half. An incredible, outstanding performance. One of the best regular season games of the year, full stop. And I'm proud of this team, man. Very, very proud of this team. Like 29-14 on the year so far. Best win of the year, no question. The most fun win was probably that Warriors win with the Jokic half-court shot. But this is no question the best win of the year. So shout out to the Nuggets for showing up. Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, and all the Nuggets, man, just doing what they got to do. Reminding the whole league. This was a reminder for the rest of the league. Talk about Minnesota. Talk about the Thunder. Talk about Philly. Talk about Boston. Talk about Milwaukee. That's fine. And some of them do deserve their due. I'm not trying to be like the biggest hater and say, hey, they don't deserve to be talked about because the regular season matters. We got to talk about something, right? But just remember, the league still got to run through Denver. Thank you guys for listening to the Nuggets Talk Recap. I'm your host, Leonard Pinckney, a.k.a. Agent P, a.k.a. LP. Nuggets play the Wizards on Sunday, and we'll be back for another recap, y'all. I will see you next time.